Can you guess what time it is? You better know that I like setting up vivs. So, if you hadn't already gathered, what we're going to be doing in today's video is unboxing and building a wooden vivarium from Flatpack. Now, this is going to be the back panel. Bits and bobs in there. I suppose what I should do is take it out and then have a look at the different bits and get the other thing undone, and then we can see where we're going from there. Okay, so I think I know where I'm working now, but you guys don't, so let me fill you in on this. So what I've just had delivered is a roughly 4x2x2 foot wooden vivarium from Repti-Life Vivarium, which I have purchased, and it's just come through the post like an hour or something ago. We do have the obligatory instructions, which is probably a good idea to read them, even though it does hurt me to say that. You will probably get whichever brand or company you get a wooden vivarium from. You're probably going to get a bag of goodies, or several bags of goodies in this case. And it's always a good idea, rather than just to leave them loose and then you end up losing one behind the back of the counter, is to put them in a bucket, or a little bowl, or whatever. Job's a good one. So the first bit of the viv that I've laid out on the floor here is the base, which makes sense. But you will notice a couple of things about the base of when you get a flat pack viv like this. Just a little tip in case you've never done it before. Is that one side, in fact I'll take the camera down and show you some B-roll. But there's one side around the lip of this which has no veneer on it. It's just plain chipboard, and that is going to go towards the back. The veneered sides are obviously either end and the front, because you don't want to be looking at chipboard once you finish the build. Now you'll see also that around the base there are little holes of different shapes and sizes in this case. I've never actually seen them as different sizes. That's a new one on me. It might be because of the size of the vivarium, or just something that this company's done that I've gone with. Because this is actually a custom size. They do, Repti-Life do custom builds, and I wanted to go as big as I could in the space that I've got. But anyway, what I'm basically going to do is, where things fit, just go around inserting them, and I'm going to assume that that's the correct place for them. So there's some bigger holes where I'm going to put these wooden dowels, and there are small holes where I will insert the metal dowels. Okay, now that we've got all those thingies in, I know where I'm working, and I know what we're going to do next. But we're going to need a little bit more space, so I'm just going to chuck some stuff out the road and I'll be back. Okay, so what I've got with me here is a side panel. Now, you'll notice in the side panel that there are a number of holes. And what we're going to do with these holes is fit the little circular fittings into them. And then once you've got the circular fittings in, these bits are going to marry up to the silver dowels, the metal dowels that you put in. And then you'll put it on and tighten it up, and I'll show you that in a sec. And that is how you fit the side panels on. Now, another quick thing to notice with the side panel is that there is not veneer on the sides that are going in onto the bottom or the top, whichever it's going to be. You'll see what I mean in a second. There's not on the back, but there is on the front. So obviously, once again, unless you really like the look of chipboard, make sure that that veneered side is facing forwards when you do this. So you see it's in these little holes where I am inserting these little silver pieces. But you will also note that they do have a polarity. So on the cross there is like an extra bit that sticks out, this lower point of the cross there, and that is meant to go towards the outside edge, because you'll see here that there is a hole And if I get one of these little silver pieces, you'll see that the extra point goes towards an empty space. So over here we have the bottom piece that the side piece is going to rest down onto, and it's going to rest down via these silver bits. So if this is a silver bit resting on the bottom panel like this, then this silver piece will come down, go onto there, and then like lock into it. So the silver piece will go into that hole. You will turn this round with a screwdriver, and then that'll lock it in place, and that's your side bit fitted. So here we are, we've got our first side panel sort of with the silvery doodahs put in, and all these are ready. So this is the bottom piece once again, this is the side piece. Just pick it up, check our veneered side, that's obviously bottom. That's back there because that's not veneered, and this is back here because that's not veneered. So what we're going to do is get those linked up, pop it on, and then it should just slide in, and I'll tighten it into place in a sec. Let's get that there. There we go. Just pop it down, and obviously it's wibbly wobbly until we find our screwdriver. That's it. That should be that one tightened. There's that one. And let's get to the other one. And just like that, side panel fitted. Okay, so you can see we've got the two side panels on now, and fitting the back portion, which would go along here, is more or less going to be the same thing. But there is one difference, and it's a difference that I have made up, and that is to make cable management easier. So I'll go and do that now, and then I'll sort of explain it after I've put it in. Come on, you. So as I said just a second ago, the purpose of the holes in the back portion of the vivarium is to improve cable management. What I went on to do was to cut out some MDF, paint it black and remove a notch from the top that cables could pass through. Using this MDF board as a cover, I can then remove it at a later date so that taking electrical items out or putting them into the enclosure will be very simple, because the hole made in the back panel is large enough to pass a plug through, so then I won't have to spend ages rewiring things or struggling to remove the lid off the vivarium completely. You will see that around the top and on the back of the back piece as well, there are more of the silver things sticking upwards and more holes on the top for dowels. And what they're going to do is they're going to go against the dowels that will go into the top piece, which is like an exact analogue of the bottom piece, only you rest it on top rather than having it as the base. So what we do next is we put those in and then we put the top on.
Left hand there.
We'll have to go from the bottom, won't we, because it's only got just enough space to fit in that gap. So we'll have to get it from the bottom, rest the back on here, then bring our arms forward and push it in. That's the way to do it, I think.
Such.
It's That okay?
Right, that's on the edge.
It's not.
I've got it. Right. Happy?
We did it.
We did it.
Okay, so it's the day after I was showing you all of that other stuff, like doing most of the exterior portion of this build. So most of the wooden viv is complete now. The only thing that's left to do is to put the like glass tracks, the runner things, the plinths, whatever you want to call them, on the top and bottom. Now, actually putting the one on the top, I'm going to save till a lot later in this series, because if I put it on now, it's only going to be getting in my way, and while I'm not going to be putting the glass in, there's basically no point to it, so I'll keep that off. But what I'll do right now is I'll fit this bottom piece, whichever the bottom piece is, just along here, and then I'll talk about what we're going to do from there. So you'll notice here that on the two plinths, the tracks, whatever you want to call them, there are two different heights to runners. There is a taller one here and a shorter one there. Now the taller portion, that is going to be the top runner, and the shorter bit is going to be the bottom runner. So I'm just fitting the bottom portion, so I just want this little bit. So just like the other bits, got our bucket of goodies. Fit these little circular thingios. It goes in. Right, jobs are good in there. So all I'll do, a bit of that dust off, is set this down on here now. Those dowels that's just sticking up are going to insert into it. Then I'll go around with the screwy again and just tighten it all up. Right, so let's get that done. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for this video. We've got everything done that we can basically do in terms of actually like building the wooden exterior of the viv. What's going to come next for me in real time is I'm going to cut the bits of wood for the background and the bits that are going to go on the side, and then I'm going to waterproof it. But making the backgrounds and waterproofing, I want to make separate videos for, because they're important topics, and you know, most people are probably getting bored by this point in the video. So now, as I say, it's a good time to call it quits. So yeah, if you do want to keep up to date with this build process and want to see what I'm going to end up putting in this vid, then do subscribe to the channel to make sure that you don't miss a future upload, and I will see you all in the next one. So that's it for now. Bye guys.